Everybody just loves the Backrooms, and I was sleeping on it. I just didn't get it.
Why didn't I come here before? I was so stupid.
I grew up in the 90s. Everything was already crispy and beige. This week, I picked up the game Pools on Steam. Now, if you're sitting comfortably, let's put on that VHS filter, and we'll do a quick run-through of what the Backrooms actually is, are, or be. The origin of the Backrooms began back in 2019 on a 4chan thread with this image, and quickly spread, connecting the internet like an underlying endless substructure of infinite offices. The story goes, if you're unlucky enough to do so, you can no-clip out of reality.
Whoa. What is this, the 90s? Okay.
And end up trapped in a horrifically yellow, crunchy, carpeted, fluorescently lit liminal space. This quickly turned into many YouTube channels of people exploring liminal spaces, and this led to many games being released about them. Most of these games are horror-themed, filled with a host of strange creatures that hunt anyone who finds themselves there. So Pools claims to be an atmospheric adventure with no monsters, and the devs even said this, and I'm going to come back to this point later in the video. There's something so immersive about Pools in particular. Everything is so close to real, yet setting one wet foot into surrealism. The ambience of the game, the sound of the water, the low horrific drone as you approach an abyss. I love big echo, and I am going to sit in that plastic garden chair forever. This place just seems to get weirder as you go. It feels like aging, going from, ooh, these simple pools are nice, I'm a little child, I like the way my feet slippity slap on these tiles, wee, a slide, to slowly drudging down into more and more progressively stranger environments. I'm an adult now, and now I've got to pay taxes.
What's that?
Perhaps it's me being the age that I am is the reason this game has made such an impact on me. I want to see a deeper meaning in all of the small details of Pools, but at the end of the day, all the atmosphere is so finely crafted that I just feel like Brian Cox talking about space.
Space and time.
I just love water. Space. Pools does indeed have something, and what that something is dread. It looms over you through the whole playthrough, where you constantly feel like you're being watched. Every dark tunnel, every slowly rippling pool, and every tight corner that you turn builds it higher and higher. The longer that anticipation grows, and the longer that no creature comes lumbering out of the shadows to chase after you, the worse it gets. Worse in a good way. And that, my friend, yeah, we're friends, is why this game makes such an impact. There's definitely thematic storytelling going on. You receive hints about the world as you go deeper and deeper, all with that open storytelling feature that's urging you to try and glean some kind of meaning from it, to try and develop your own story in your head as you go. Each level gets stranger and stranger, playing with physics and objects, all that you recognize with that uncanny feeling of not quite right. Some of the rooms are awe-inspiring, and it makes you feel like you found yourself into a water park before it's officially open to everyone, and it just makes you want to explore. Now, there are moments of horror in this game, but they're not what you expect. It's edging on psychological or cosmic horror, where the things you see or experience are the very things that cause you to form the horror in your mind. You see sights here that make you realize that you are afraid. Give you an example here that doesn't spoil anything about the game, so you don't have to worry about your own playthrough, which you should do. It was this slide. Now, I've been down slides like this. I know the feel of the plastic on my palms. I know the sound of the world getting pulled away as you start to move. And I know the feeling of dread when you start to go faster than you thought you might go, and you realize that the slide is steeper than you thought it was. But then you're launched out into the pool, and everything's absolutely fine, and you want to go again. But what if you didn't? What if that slide became so steep that when you hit the water, there was nowhere to go? Because this slide ends vertically into the water, meaning that if you were unfortunate enough to find yourself trapped inside, you'd be trapped with an unknown depth of water below you and a completely vertical, slippery slide above you with no chance of climbing free. Now that scares me. That's horror. I don't know if that was just me noticing that when I saw it, but I don't know, that played on my mind. I was like, holy shit. So at each one of these slides that you go down in the game, you start to feel like, oh god, am I going to end up in one of those? So I felt compelled to make this video after such a small game made such a big impact. After all, it's only 6 levels long, and all you do is explore and find little hints that you might not be the first person or otherwise to walk through such a thick atmosphere that I felt like I could smell the chlorine while I was playing. And judging by many of the reviews on Steam, I'm not the only one who feels this positive about this game. Remember when I said I was going to come back to this point? So Pools claims to be an atmospheric adventure with no monsters. And the devs even said this, and I'm going to come back to this point later in the video. See, I did say that. I think another reason this game feels so scary, and this is an afterthought, I've recorded this clip again to make sure I add this in here. Another reason I think it was so effective is because it did such a good job of convincing me that the devs were lying. And like, we're gamers, we're used to being lied to by game companies. Like, we're used to getting promised loads of stuff and it not being in the game. So the whole time I found myself going, oh, this is the perfect place for a jump scare.
Oh, this is the bit.
Oh, this is the bit.
This is the bit where it happens.
This is the bit where the siren-headed creature comes launching at the screen, only for me to be left blue-balled and horror-horny. So I want to end this video on a point. A game's budget does not denote its impact, just like art. The time of your life can affect why a game or film makes an impact on you. Pool's campaign made a bigger impact on me than the last Call of Duty's campaign. Night in the Woods made a huge impact on me because of its storytelling and its original art style. And again, the time that I played it. I played it when I had finished university, just like the main character, and come back to my hometown in the fall and the autumn. It made the perfect experience, and it'll stay one of my favorite games. Dark Souls made a huge impact on me because of its atmosphere, and I'd argue that the original Dark Souls is AA, not AAA. Play games that aren't always AAA, and support the small studios that definitely need support right now. And with that, go and play Pools. And if you've played it already, I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to carry on the conversation down below or on socials or in our Discord. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. I don't know what to do to say goodbye. In a bit. Soz Boz. I love water.